Hey guys, I'm sure some of you recognize this as Steve Back's Suburban. The one that I had been working on trying to get ported to run openpilot. Well, as you can see here, it's got a comma 3 in it. Looks like it belongs there. It's very nice. Except there's a small problem. That problem is when entering a curve that goes to the left, that's not the left. When entering a curve that goes to the left, everything's fine. When entering a curve that goes to the right, it rarely, if it's a small curve, it can handle it. But otherwise, it maxes out on torque and it needs your help. It turns out, this is a Suburban. There's another guy who's been working on a lot of open pilot stuff lately, who said after I told him about the right-left thing that that makes all three of the trucks, the GM trucks, have the same problem, that they work fine on left turns, but on right turns they just whoop off the side of the road into the ditch. Not good. I have some theories about why this might be the case. It has something to do with the fact that all of these are four-wheel drive. Even if they weren't four-wheel drive, I know there's stuff that happens in the steering with regard to turning left versus right and transferring power to a wheel. And the thing that we noticed, we did some, we've been working at this quite a while, and with the stock lane keep assist, it has the same problem. It could bounce off one side, but on the other side it would go across the lines or wait too long. One thing you may notice about Steve's beautiful Suburban is that it's not in my driveway. We are at Steve's lake house. He has been kind enough to put me up here. I drove made the 10-hour, it's about a 10-hour drive, 9-hour, 10-hour drive from Michigan to Virginia. And I learned some things, like West Virginia is no fun to drive in when you're in a car that drives itself, because there are roads that I don't think any car using the government mandated 3 Newton meters of torque would be able to handle those turns. Oh my gosh. It probably would have been an easier drive if I just turned off openpilot, to be honest. But the point was to get lots of data. During the trip, I had planned to tune. I developed a version of openpilot that allowed you to change its tuning parameters live in such a way that they instantaneously were applied. Well, I found out yesterday that I messed that up, and the most important tuning parameter I had neglected to implement. So that's pretty funny. It's a nice little lake type thing. There's some other things. I can't say that this is new to me, but this gravel road here, And all the roads that lead up to, most of the roads that lead up to this house, they're not even 2-lane roads. They're like 1.5-lane roads, and there's no streetlights. And I got here at 1 a.m. about a week ago. Oh man. It's the most driving that I've done in years. And you know, I stayed awake, so that's good. Oh, anyhow, this is part of the reason why I haven't given an update in a while, because I've been working on this pretty much exclusively, trying to get it ready. And you know, we just kind of got to the point where we decided maybe I just bring it here and finish it up. Well, the process of bringing it here, I certainly learned some things. I don't think I have roads where I live with sharp enough turns that I could have ran into this. But anyhow, so we're gonna try some stuff with having tuning parameters that are different depending on the curvature of the road, if it's to the right or the left. So it'll attempt to start turning sooner if it's turning to the right. I've got till Friday to figure it out. So awesome. One other interesting thing about being in such a very rural area that is mountainous, that's like a mountain right there. I think it qualifies as a mountain or something. Anyhow, there is no cell phone signal here. And if it wasn't for this wonderful thing, that is indeed a Starlink antenna. If it wasn't for a Starlink antenna and Wi-Fi calling, I would be in the dark. I don't think I would have survived. But even where it sits right now, I'll show you this. It is obscured by these mountains. The satellites it wants are kind of like right at the edge of those mountains. So it loses signal about every 4 minutes due to the way these satellites are moving. When I first heard about Starlink, I was not happy about it. I didn't like the idea of all this trash around in the atmosphere, but I wouldn't be able to do this if it wasn't for that thing. So I've kind of changed my mind about it. I'm really happy. It gets like 50 megabit when it's doing well. It's getting 50 megabits down, which is pretty good since it's got an obscured view. If it had a clearer view, I hear you can get 100 megabits down. That's just crazy. I know I said there was no cell signal, but that's not entirely true. There is cell signal here, up here. And I was getting desperate enough just in the first hours that I was here that I was tempted to take my hotspot and just, toss it up on the roof attached to a rope in a Ziploc bag or something so I could have some connectivity. It is weird to have not only is there no signal, but I would say this is it's probably 10 minutes away from the pretty much the entire drive from when you get off the highway to here. There's no signal. This is a Verizon. I would not have expected that. Now, what I would call maybe some good news is that I believe I have figured out what needs to be done to enable this car to use openpilot for its speed control. Right now, this car, it doesn't have the traditional radar module that sends radar points to a control module. It's got in the front, right behind the front fascia here, there's a a radar module that is not in the service manual. They don't call it radar. They call it a distance sensing cruise control module. K14 is its I don't know, its code name or whatever. And it just sends gas and brake commands. That's it. Doesn't send any radar points, so we can't use it. I thought maybe I could just pull the fuse. Well, that didn't work, because they've got about 18 things. Okay, more like 8 things. But it takes out the parking assist. It takes out the takes out the power to the front camera, so the comma unit wasn't working. The ultrasonic, those things, same circuit. Also, the USB ports are on this circuit. It's almost like they didn't want you to be able to unplug it. Strange. Well, it turns out we may be able to use diagnostic CAN bus commands to force it to go offline. That's going to be probably the best way, because the alternative is digging around under the fascia of your car to try to unplug something, and then it would need shunts as well. Not a good idea. Here's the table at which I sit, and the magic is not happening the way I was hoping. But I've got till Friday to try to make some magic happen. Well, I have more time. It's just, it's easier to do when you're actually with the car. A lot of the stuff can be done remotely, thankfully. So even, after I go home, when Steve is driving it, I'll be able to help him with the tuning, if it needs more help with the tuning. Or maybe he decides he's had enough of me and finds somebody else on the common Discord to help him, which is totally okay. I'm a little on the fence about the whole comma openpilot thing, since they decided to pretty much make the comma 2s obsolete in a day, 4 months before they said they were gonna. I still intend to cover that in more detail. That decision it's the reason I got banned. It's the thing that I tried to talk them out of that got me banned. And now that they've done it, I've already had to be the bearer of bad news to 2 different people who were not particularly happy to find out that they're, less than, in some cases, less than a year-old comma 2 is worthless. Not worthless. There's going to be custom forks, and you can continue to run the last version that worked, which is 0.8.13. The thing is, GeoHot promised that they weren't going to deprecate the comma 2 until version 1.0 came out. There's a lot of broken promises going on right now, while comma is busy trying to build a self-driving Segway. Don't even get me started. Well, I believe I'm gonna sit back and relax for the evening with this very modern television. I'm not complaining. I just think it's funny. I haven't seen. It's a TV with a VCR and a VCR on top, and there's a tape. There's tape jammed in there. So what do we do if I'm not able to get the right hand torque strong enough to meet Steve's requirements, living in Virginia where they don't believe in straight roads? Okay. If we get this diagnostic thing set up and working, you can dump firmware off of stuff in an unencrypted way, like an unencoded way even, such that you can search for strings and stuff. And it's possible that tools exist for fixing the checksum so you could modify it and re-upload it. Possibly, maybe. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up, but maybe opening the possibility for increasing the torque for lane keep assist. I look on some of these routes where it was failing, and my the driver applied torque was like 3.1 or 3.2. It's just a little bit over 3 newton meters. We're just right on the edge of what it needs to, of what this size car needs to be able to drive 75 and handle a curve to the right of a certain angle and grade. Turns out the roads in Virginia are often quite steeply graded, and there'll be large sections of straight road on the highway that I go back and look at the logs, and the car is applying almost maximum. I can't remember if it was left or right. It was negative, whatever it was. It was the torque value was negative, and it was right at 3. So if we're going straight and we've got the torque maxed out just to keep the steering wheel straight, that's not good. Steve got he had the alignment checked, so it's not that. And this is also happening on the Tahoe and the Silverado and the Acadia, which is not technically this large format, but it also has a difference between its left and right capabilities. So that's one possibility. There's also the kind of stuff that RetroPilot has to use, where you can attach things that apply torque. Those are options as well. It's just, I was really hoping that it was just a matter of tuning, and it may be. It may be that with tuning we'll be able to get it handling 90% of the curves. I'd like it to be higher, and one of the benefits, if we did get openpilot handling the longitudinal, there are custom forks that still have the code that will slow the car down if it's going into a curve that it can't handle, so that the car is not going to go off the road. That used to be a part of openpilot that I really don't understand why they removed it. So anyway, all is not lost. I have just had a couple of frustrating days these last couple days, not making nearly as much progress as I would have liked, and finding out that my ideas that I had that I thought were fantastic weren't possible yet. That's the extent of the content I've got, I guess, to talk about. I can't think of anything else. Wanted to give a huge shout out to Very Lucky Guy because he likes shout outs. Also, thank you to my Patreon supporters. I know I haven't posted a lot of content. I kind of explained the reasons for that. There has to do with me wanting to give you a good explanation for, give you good answers about the Comet 2, and I don't have those answers yet. Obviously, I've been busy. If you head out to GitHub and you look at our OPGM fork, you can see that we have a sort of a team now working on this, and we are all every day submitting commits. It's pretty cool. But now more than ever, I need you guys' support. So like I said, thank you to my existing Patreon supporters. If you really want to see the Suburban working flawlessly, I need your support now more than ever. So if you've got a car, that the GM car for now, that openpilot doesn't support, that has lane keep assist, pretty much as long as it has lane keep assist, I can at least get it working 75% of the time. It's gonna work fine on straight roads, But there are things that I need. I have circuit boards I have to design and build and start producing, or finding someone to produce them for me. Your support is vital. So if you want to become a sort of a ongoing supporter, you can head out to patreon.com/standbacklabs. Or somewhere I've got a link to my PayPal, but we'll not worry about that right now. I think 21 minutes is long enough. So, as always, thanks for watching. Feel free to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, because nobody's going to see it if you give me a thumbs down now. And subscribe if you want to see more, and hit the bell if you want the updates. Sorry, I just heard like a thumping sound coming from the empty part of the house, and it freaked me out. There's a pair of, I don't know what they are. They're black and they're big birds. I felt when I saw them, I felt this sort of impending doom, and I started thinking back to the lines from The Raven, and but I don't know if they were ravens. They might be like turkey vultures or something. But either way, they're big, and sometimes they like squawk at me when I try to come in the house. Okay, total distraction there. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.